Energy availability is balanced at a specific amount of calories available per kilogram of fat-free mass per day. So when I talk about fat-free mass, I'm talking about all of the tissues in our body excluding fat. So that's things such as our organs, our bones, our muscles, our connective tissue, and total body water. Energy availability is calculated as dietary energy intake minus energy expended through exercise relative to our fat-free mass in kilograms. When defining energy availability, an energy availability of 45 calories per kilogram of fat-free mass is deemed optimal to support both exercise and basic physiological function. Reduced or suboptimal energy availability is defined at being between 30 to 45 calories per kilogram of fat-free mass per day. It's when energy availability drops below 30 calories per kilogram of fat-free mass per day when the body enters a state of low energy availability, where the body doesn't have enough energy left to promote optimal health and physical performance. It's important to understand that energy availability is specific to the individual and that the ranges spoken about in this module purely reflect where the current evidence is at with ranges of energy availability. What we do know for sure is that when the energy intake is less than what is required to support both basic metabolic processes and exercise load, our body enters a state of low energy availability, or LEA. In a state of LEA, the body tries to compensate for this reduced energy intake by expending less energy to fuel basic physiological functions that are essential for life, such as thermoregulation, growth, and reproduction. While this compensation in energy expenditure helps restore energy balance and maintain body weight, it has adverse effects on health and performance. Being in a prolonged state of low energy availability leads to a decrease in metabolic rate, compromised immune function, poor bone health, and decreased sex hormones in both males and females, just to name a few. I'm sure most people watching this have experienced low energy availability at some point in their career, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And I've simply brushed it off as training hard or just a result of hard work. This is why it's really important to monitor the following signs and symptoms, especially if they are occurring over long periods of time. Symptoms include decreased mood, low energy levels, increased frequency of injury or sickness, poor recovery from training, fatigue during training, and/or decreased strength, reaching a plateau in your training, poor sleep quality, and even reduced quality in your hair, skin, and nails, gastrointestinal issues, decrease in libido, and also the absence or disruption of menstruation in females. Low energy availability underpins a syndrome called relative energy deficiency in sport, or RED-S, which can implicate many bodily systems and result in both short and long-term compromise of health and performance. RED-S can affect many different systems within the body that can have potentially long-term consequences on health. This is why it is important for athletes to have adequate energy intake, and if they are undergoing a dieting phase, to be in appropriate calorie deficit with an adequate post-deficit nutrition plan. One thing that is unfortunately prevalent among female athletes is the complete loss of or change in the menstrual cycle. Now, this is often brushed off as being a normal part of being an athlete. However, it's more likely a sign of something more serious, such as prolonged low energy availability, and it needs to be addressed. If this is not treated, it can progress to functional hypothalamic amenorrhea, which can have serious long-term consequences on bone and reproductive health. If you are experiencing changes or disruptions to your menstrual cycle, please reach out to a trained healthcare professional in order to be assessed and provided with the most adequate treatment plan. Low energy availability and relative energy deficiency in sport are important concepts for athletes to be aware of. Energy availability refers to the energy we have left after exercise to power those physiological functions essential for life. When we aren't meeting our energy needs, we can start to experience negative consequences such as fatigue, lethargy, disinterest in training. And it's really important that if you are experiencing long-term consequences, to reach out to a trained medical professional or nutrition professional to get assessed and also be delivered with a plan to support your health and performance long-term.